Full-time reaction to Celtic 1, Motherwell 1. I've got Darren and Martin with me. Martin took over a dreadful afternoon, I thought, honestly. Freezing in there. And my God, it's another really slow, lethargic, lifeless performance that seems to be happening every couple of weeks. You come off the back of a game like Aberdeen, where do you think maybe we'll start to motor now? 4-1 at Tynecastle, maybe we'll start to motor now. And every 2 or 3 weeks we put in a performance like that.
I mean, I normally try and look at the positive side of things, what I like to think I do anyway. Normally glass is half full, but today kind of struggling to find anything positive about that performance. Just didn't feel confident in the game at all. First half was frustrating. I thought, right, another 45 minutes. You can normally tell at Celtic Park the way the first half goes if it's going to be one of those games or not, but we're not too bad at scoring late goals. But today, when that 10 minutes went up, I thought, we're not going to break them down. I know they played with 2 banks of 5 pretty much for most of the game and a big strong physical side, but what that's just proven again today is we've not got strength and depth, and we missed some of our key players. It's not an excuse, it's just a fact that we missed Satati, and probably if we have 3 players out, I think we're really in trouble. You can maybe bring in one periphery player, but today there was too many of those. Yang, for example, miles off. We were just reflecting a little bit there before we came on the video, but we're struggling to hit the byline now because we've not got the players that can go out wide and take players on consistently throughout the game. So they're defending the numbers in the middle of the box, and we're trying to play through the middle, and they just kept breaking us down. We weren't even winning the free kicks. You know, I'm thinking, win a couple of free kicks in the edge of the box and see if we can score from one of them. But just a really, really bad day at the office, freezing cold, and a terrible performance. Aye,
Darren, dreadful. The first half, non-event really, absolute non-event. I couldn't tell you really anything of note that we did in the first half. The 3 things I can remember are a brilliant bit of defending for Carter Vickers, a save for Joe Hart, and the moment where Joe Hart came off his line and then tried to correct it another twice, but decided just wasn't getting back in his goals. And for all the possession that we dominated the first half, Motherwell probably the slightly better openings, which is mental because they barely ever had possession of the ball. It's so hard to look at that. And Martin says, coming into the second half, missing key players. Who are you looking at? Kyogo and Palma go off in the second half. Who are you turning to unlock the door for us in the second half? We've got Yang, who's unproven. Yang's symptomatic of the whole team, by the way, right now. He's good against Aberdeen today, hopeless. That's, like I'm saying with the team, great performance, and then just come right back off it again. We've got Mikey Johnson again, off the bench, turning to him. Should he even be here at this stage of his career? I think we all know where he's at. We've got O on. Who do you turn to?
It generally doesn't know, and also I don't think it helps, mate, that the lineup as well is changing every single week. I mean, look at the midfield, for example. You've got O'Reilly and McGregor who are nailed on, right, that's fine. In centre there, you had Home today. When's the last time Home started the game?
I think he started the last time against Aberdeen, but he came off.
Right, that's embarrassing for me then. But, right, okay. But he got hooked at half time. I thought it was poor, right? The main thing for me was in that first half, like you said, we had so much possession. We were trying to break them down, but you look at that Motherwell side, even just sitting there, you know they're a big physical team, right? You look at us, we're the polar opposite. See in that first half when we were just like passing the ball about their half, they were sitting at the byline. You could throw a blanket over the whole entire pitch in that first half, right? And what you would have is a lot of ricochets, a lot of loose balls. Every time a Celtic player took a touch, there's a Motherwell player on him, and you've got guys at home. A strong gust of wind was blowing them off the ball. Greg Taylor, Yang, Palma as well. Just this game was not suited for those kind of guys. They need space to run into. If we're going to play a certain way, we need different types of players. We need players with pace. Obviously, Maeda's injured, that's unlucky. Someone who's direct, Abada is injured, that's unlucky. You also need technical midfielders when O'Reilly's not having a good game. O'Reilly's not very quick, that's when you can turn to Atati. Injured, again what you said, Martin, depth, just things like that. And then in the second half, we'll talk about the penalties, man. How many penalties have we missed now this season? And I say to you just before we went on there, and I'll touch on it very, very quickly. 2 minutes before we got the penalty, Greg Taylor crossed the ball in for O, and his shirt was pulled right off, almost off his back. I seen it because I was facing that way. I could see his back, and I don't know if everyone else in the stadium saw it. But one thing I noticed is that not one single Celtic player, maybe Cal McGregor went up to a referee after it settled down, but not one single Celtic player in the referee's face saying, "Hey, that's a penalty. Check it." Just like Atletico Madrid did when Daizen Maeda gets sent off. They all crowded down the referee. It went to VAR, and the decision impacted the game. But then you look at the Mikey Johnson penalty, the second penalty that we won. Mikey Johnson's the only player who knew he was fouled, and he went to the ref, and his hands in the air like, "Ref, penalty." The referee ignored him, and then what he done is he walked over to the 4th official and he said the exact same thing, and the referee's about to blow his whistle for Liam Kelly to take his let's go kick again, and then if he stopped to play and get sent off to his monitor, things like that. Because these teams are going to do that. Think how much time Motherwell wasted. They're playing these games, right? We need to play them at these kind of games as well. See if that was up the other end of the pitch and they got like, just I don't know, like a stupid wee shove like that, they would all be crowding on the referee and stuff like that. We kind of need to do this kind of like moral football that we seem to play. It doesn't work against these teams that are going to like time waste and try and run the game down and do kind of things like that. So it's just kind of, just stuff like that really annoys me.
Aye, Martin, Palmer's penalty. I don't like slow run-ups, and obviously puts it away against Aberdeen. That one today, he's going at a snail's pace. By the time he connects with the ball, he's going at a snail's pace. It's so easy for the goalkeeper to read where he's going. So easy. He's not approaching the ball at any pace. We must have the worst penalty record of any team in the world. I've never seen a team miss so many penalties, so many different takers. Turnbull obviously puts the second one away, but the penalty was just seemed to never end. I thought we're really untidy in the ball. If we're going to play, obviously Roger's style is quite deliberate. There's a lot of passing, moving the ball from side to side. If we're going to play like that, the passing needs to be clean. It needs to be in front of people. It's too untidy. It's under people's feet. It's not quick enough. And when Motherwell are playing like that, it's 10 men behind the ball. Just asking for trouble.
There's no element of surprise, and unless, I know we've touched on it already, but unless you can stretch a game and you're playing just in a confined area like we did today, and everything was just going through the central area, or it was going out wide but coming back in. James Forrest in recent years have been notorious for that. Get about to Forrest, it comes back. Today it was like that on both wings. We didn't hit the byline. Not only did we not hit the byline, but we're scared to put crosses in. Why? Because they all these big, huge defenders, and at times they had 9 in the box, and you look to see, okay, they've got 9 in the box. Let's push forward and let's play on the edge of their 6-yard box. But we didn't. We only had 2 or 3 players in the box at the time. They had 9 in the box, and you think you've absolutely no chance against these big giants.
Spot on.
So we're not going out wide, we're not getting the ball in the box, and we're just trying to play that nice, tidy, short passes, safe passes to try and retain possession. So we weren't brave enough. And part of that's down to personnel, but part of that's down to decision making by the players as well, and trying something different, as Darren says. The only frustration today, when you think about, did we have opportunity to win the game? And you would hope at Celtic Park playing against Motherwell with the budget that we've got versus what they've got, albeit they are a really, really sticky team. That's been proven time and time again over the last few years. We've had a lot of really tight games against them. We do occasionally give them a doing, but probably 3 out of 4 are tight games. So no surprise today it was a tight game. But how many headers did we have in the box?
Loads.
Was it maybe 5 headers?
Yang, O'Reilly.
And there was at least 3 of them that if they didn't hit the post, they went inches past the post. You just think, what an opportunity. Show a bit of composure, And does that come down to some of these guys just not being good enough? Because if you were at a certain standard, you'd be scoring those, because they were sitters.
Aye. Darren, you always look at these games, you watch the highlights tonight if you went at the game and think, oh, it's just one of the days we could have won it, just like Hibs, just like St Johnstone. But if you sit and watch 90 minutes, you see how we're playing, you see the level that we're playing at, and it's nowhere near where it needs to be.
It's just down to intensity. It's almost like, you can tolerate it in the first half because you just think, right, that's only halfway, you've got another 45 minutes left. But you come out the second half and it's the exact same. And then the last 15 minutes, there just seems to be this sort of surge. It's almost like the crowd can feel it, and then it works its way onto the pitch, and it's almost just the other team get deeper and they don't even try and get you on the break anymore, and we just throw everything at it. But by that point, it's just too late, and then you're sitting there thinking, this is the same thing over and over again. And we've been maybe last season under Ange and the season before under Ange, we were notorious for scoring late goals. Apart from maybe Motherwell at Fir Park this season, I don't think we're really like that to score late goals. So you can ditch this whole we never stop part, because that's last season, that's gone. And now you're thinking, right, if we're going to coast our way through 75 minutes of the game and then decide to get a second win with 15 minutes left, you need to kill the game off. And like you said, Hibs, we didn't. St Johnstone, we didn't. Was Hibs, what was the score that game? 0-0. That's where 1 each this game was. That's 3 draws at Celtic Park this season. That's unheard of last season. See if that was last season, we'd have that game 4-0 at half time.
Aye, Martin, really poor. Back to Europe, the joys of Europe on Tuesday. I just think we're lambs to the slaughter right now with that squad playing at that level in the Champions League. It's just ominous, isn't it?
I mean, it's raw right now, right? Because we just come out of that game that's been a pure performance. Darren, don't mean to correct you, but I think the Hibs game was away.
Aye, Hibs won at Easter Road,
And I'm only correcting because I know the viewers all love correcting us, right? I get corrected I'm sure I'll get corrected today because 3 or 4 things I've said wrong, but I think Hibs was 0-0 away and then we've had 2 draws at home, haven't we? Both frustrating, St Johnstone today. So you come out there and you're thinking, oh, what's our next game? What's our next league game? And you think, oh, before our next league game we're going to Rome, aren't we? So really excited about the trip, albeit they'll not make us welcome, the fans will not make us welcome. It looks like probably the authorities aren't going to make us welcome either, and it's going to be a hassle. But the game itself, you can't help but be excited about Champions League games. But if you were to bet on the game, would you put a lot of money on Celtic getting a result? I mean, we need to go there and win. So first and foremost, we've not got any more than a single point out of 4 games, right? And some of them will be the last game, particularly we've got to do in. with that performance today. But I think you said again before we came on air, Paul, that we've just been a bit of a roller coaster this season. You think, right, we've turned a corner and we'll get a bit of momentum and continuity and consistency of results, and it hasn't happened. Maybe a 2 or 3 week run if you're lucky.
Yeah.
I just don't know with the Celtic team what team's going to turn up. 6-0 against Aberdeen. Some people think Aberdeen lie down to us. We certainly do well against them over the years, but I just don't know what team's going to turn up. Because in the Champions League, in some of the games we've competed, really, really well. In final order stages we competed, albeit we fell behind early in the game. But certainly at home in the Champions League we competed last, so I think you told me got beat today. So you just don't know. So I go there, maybe blind optimism. I think we'll go and get a win. I'm not hopeful, but we'll go there and give it our best shot, and we'll have to win, and that's what will make the game interesting. I think Lazio will go and defend the way Motherwell did today. No, they won't. So
why don't we? But why don't we?
Aye.
Then we might actually get something.
Well, if we think our draw's going to be enough, I've not quite done the maths and all the different connotations, but I think we've kind of concluded we probably could do with 2 wins, give ourselves the best chance. But maybe our draw's enough. I've not studied the group, and they might rely on other results. But I think we're all kind of hoping there and get a win, and then come back and it be in our own hands going into the last game. On the penalty taker, you asked it earlier on, and I was thinking as you were speaking a minute ago, my view on the penalty taker would be you stick with your penalty taker and it should be your striker. I've always thought that your strikers take your penalties,
I don't fancy, love Keogh a bit, but I don't fancy him as a penalty taker.
No, but somebody who's an attacking
even
player.
I would have liked to see O hit one of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just one of your offensive players, but if they miss it, don't take it off them.
Aye. Well, there's that as well. It's just constantly chops and changes. I don't think it helps matters. Anyway, there you go. That's it for full-time reaction. We'll see you in Malone's for the post-match pint as well. Thank you.